Guys, today I'm going to show Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo, or more specifically Super Mario Kart. This was of course the first Mario Kart game. It also used what was called Mode 7. A lot of people have probably heard about Mode 7 before, but maybe they don't know what it is. Mode 7 was a special programming mode that the Super Nintendo could use. It took advantage of its hardware-based rotation and scaling effects. Basically, it could take one background layer and use hardware to scale and rotate it, which is something that the really slow 2D processors of the time couldn't have really done on their own. Gave you kind of like a 3D effect. Some of the most popular games to use Mode 7, of course, other than Mario Kart, would be like Pilot Wings and F-Zero. So, anytime you have that kind of 3D effect. The only downside to the hardware is it can only scale and rotate one background layer. So, in Mario Kart, for example, all the actual carts and objects that you hit on the road, like the warp pipes, are not hardware scaled. They have to be drawn at each size that they come at. So that takes up a little more memory. It also gives you a little bit more of a jerky look as you get closer to things, depending on how many times they want to redraw for different sizes, of course. But anyways, I'm going to show Mario Kart, and then you'll know what Mode 7 is all about. So here we go. Here's the title screen. See all the characters going by: Mario, Luigi, Princess, Toad, Bowser. Anyways, let's go into the 100cc class here. It's been a long time since I played this. I think I'll pick Toad, as I usually do. Or not Toad, Koopa Troopa. And here we go. So here you can kind of see the 3D scrolling graphics. This is the Mode 7. What you see, basically the whole floor plane is being hardware scaled and rotated. So like I said, it's one background layer. Nothing else can be hardware scaled. It could be software scaled, but that's a big load on the CPU, and we're talking about a 4 megahertz CPU or whatever it is that the Super Nintendo runs at. But because of the hardware is able to do the background layer, really we just have to, like I said, the characters and the warp pipes, for example, there are not hardware scaled. So that's what Mode 7 did, and geez, I really suck. Like I said, I haven't played this in a long time. Gotta remember to get the coins. The coins prevent you from spinning out when you get hit. Every time you get... It's like Sonic. You want to collect the coins because if you have the coins and you get hit, it's not a big deal. But if you get hit and you don't have any coins on you, you spin out. So I guess the coins kind of weigh you down is the kind of theory there. Shortcut there. Well, 4th place, at least I qualified. Get into the next race, I'll do a little better this time. I'm just getting the hang of it. It's been so long since I played this, of course. So here we go. Once again, I thought these graphics were really good at the time. It was, a good technique to give you a 3D appearance and basically 3D gameplay in a game that's not really 3D. I mean, there's not really any 3D processing here. So it's a lot of people, a lot of Genesis fanboys, I should say, and I hate to say Genesis fanboys, but they've downplayed the Mode 7, and they like to laugh and joke that
no one even knows what Mode 7 is and blah blah blah. But you know what? The Genesis couldn't have done a game like this. It couldn't have done this caliber of scaling and rotation. I mean, even with its faster processor, which it does have a faster processor, but I mean, even still, you couldn't pull this off without the help of the hardware that we're using here in Mode 7. So. Now the Sega CD, on the other hand, that does add scaling and rotation hardware to the Sega Genesis. And the Sega CD can actually scale and rotate multiple objects at a time, unlike this, where this can only do a background layer. The Sega CD can do, say, the background layer and the players separately could be hardware scaled. So, you know, little was it taken advantage of, but that power was there in the Sega CD. But anyways, I shouldn't really talk about the Sega CD when we're playing Mario Kart, now should I? Doing a little better now. First place, that's more like it. If you haven't noticed, they made a new intro, so I'll probably be using that for a little while. And, you know, I got a little more fancy with the effects. I'm starting to learn how to use Adobe Premiere a little better, so, you know, I can do titles and, you know, mix stuff up a little bit better. For anyone that's wondering, the song at the beginning, and the song in my title, when I had all the systems fading in and out, that was the BIOS boot up music from Sega CD. So when you first turn on the Sega CD, before a game even loads, or if a game's even entered or not, and the Sega CD's BIOS loads up, it plays that music, and I thought it was a pretty cool song, so I ripped it. Now there's a shortcut here. There's my secret of Mario Kart for you guys. Ah, fuck. Star power. I think Luigi can use star power. Most of the characters have their own thing that they can continuously use on you. You know, Yoshi, for example, spits the eggs out. One of them spits fireballs. Koopa can spit turtle shells. Donkey Kong can spit banana peels. And so I think, pretty sure Luigi, that's his things. He can pretty much use a star power at any time. Of course, you can't do that. That's just the computers, you know. But anyways, running out of time here. This is definitely a great example of Mode 7. And for those of you that didn't know what Mode 7 was, now you know. And it made a lot of great games on the Super Nintendo possible. You know, call them 3D games because they do play like 3D games. So, you know, it made a lot of early 3D games possible. So, there you go.